Now they are negotiating again. The talks on the follow-up regulations for Brexit are now in the 7th round. Premier Johnson is drawn to hard Brexit as the lemmings are driven over the cliff into the sea. Let's make him jump. The British have cost us enough nerves. There were some high-ranking EU representatives who sometimes devoted themselves to purposeless pastimes. Former EU Council President Herman van Rompuy wrote haikus with pleasure, strangely animatic but short poems based on the Japanese model. Former EU Commission President Jean-Claude Juncker liked to pinball, but rarely got around because his pinball machine was not in Brussels, but in his basement in Luxembourg. Michel Barnier, chief negotiator of the European Union, is doggedly devoting himself to an activity that seems particularly useless. He's negotiating with the British. There's nothing to win in pinball, you can only get hold of free spins. So it is an activity whose sole purpose is to prolong it. This is fatally reminiscent of the progress of the Brexit follow-up negotiations so far. In Brussels, it is an open secret that the British negotiators were never designed to actually achieve a result. Part of the London calculation is evidently to allow so much time pressure to arise that the EU will at some point buckle and say yes and amen to everything possible so that a deal can be reached at all. It is possible that the agonizing rounds of talks were also about window dressing from the start, because a hard Brexit Johnson fits ideologically into the stuff and would also offer a good excuse for a whole series of self-made problems that the UK is also exposed to because of Corona. The tactic is tiresome, dishonest and wastes time and resources. It cannot be dismissed out of hand, however, that in the case of Barnier, Johnson encountered an indomitable interlocutor who has a clear mission: to make Brexit clearly appear as what it is, namely economically harmful and globally politically unwise. Johnson was on the shorthand side from the start. The consequences of Brexit are far greater for his citizens than for the EU. Nonetheless, it is of course Barnier's duty and responsibility to try to avert the greatest imbalances of the consequences of British escapism for EU citizens and companies. But now it's enough. The unworthy spectacle must really go into its very last round. There are now only around 4 months left to prepare for the hard Brexit eventually. It will be uncomfortable for the EU, no question about that. For the British, however, it could be disastrous. Even if many Brexiteers insulting me every day will not believe this. Both sides will survive the shock, of course. Let's finally get it over with. And Johnson jump over the cliff. Barnier is too much of a diplomat to show how sorry he is about the whole thing himself. After the 6th round of negotiations at the end of July, however, he accused his counterpart David Frost and his people of not being as solution-oriented as their EU interlocutors. He added unequivocally, the EU cannot and will not accept paying the price for UK policy making. Now is the time to order the invoice. And no, we will not split the bill, Prime Minister. Barnier's boss, EU Commission President Dr. Ursula von der Leyen, could certainly bring the experienced French to more useful uses than his current one. Do not waste this man's talents, Dr. von der Leyen. Please release us from the farce of Operation Brexit accession negotiations. And if you now want to know more about European politics from a German point of view, YouTube has chosen another of my videos right here for you on the end screen, right next to your chance to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to click the little bell so you'll be notified when I publish another video. I'll see you in my next video. Click and enjoy. Viel Spaß!